The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Ambassador Draventhos collapsed onto the polished obsidian floor. The massive draconian diplomat, his iridescent scales dulling with pain, struggled to lift his head. His wings, once capable of carrying him through nebulae, lay useless against his flanks. "Please," Draventhos rasped, his voice barely audible through the translation matrix. "I can't walk or fly." The assembled delegates recoiled. Draconians were living legends, apex predators who had conquered 17 star systems before discovering diplomacy was more profitable than warfare. To see one reduced to this was unthinkable. Elsa Chen, Earth's junior ambassador, pushed through the crowd of chittering insectoids and towering crystalline beings. Her dark eyes assessed the situation with the clinical precision she'd learned in her previous career. The draconian's lower spine was clearly damaged, his hind legs unresponsive, his flight membrane torn and bleeding luminescent blue. "Someone help him!" shrieked the Vesperan delegate, her forearms gesticulating wildly, but no one moved. "Our physicians cannot treat draconian physiology," explained the Zentari medical officer, his tentacles writhing apologetically. "Their internal temperatures would incinerate our instruments." "The medical bay is 17 floors down," added the station commander, a gelatinous move-on. "The gravity lifts cannot support his mass." Elsa felt her jaw tighten. She'd seen this before, the bureaucratic paralysis, the convenient excuses. She tapped her comm badge. "James, council chamber." "Now!" "Copy that," came the gruff response. Draventhos's breathing grew labored. The atmosphere settings that kept the council comfortable were suffocating him. Without treatment in the next 10 minutes, Ambassador Vrenick had explained during orientation, a draconian's organs would begin catastrophic failure. "Ms. Chen," the council speaker intoned, "perhaps it would be merciful to simply—" "No." Elsa's voice cut through the chamber like a blade. The doors hissed open. James Morrison strode in, his prosthetic leg barely audible on the polished floor. The former Marine was technically her security attaché, but everyone knew James was much more than that. At 63, with silver threading his black hair and scars mapping his brown skin, he carried himself with the confidence of someone who'd survived things that would break lesser beings. He took one look at Draventhos and nodded. "Spinal?" "Looks like it," Elsa confirmed. "Plus wing trauma, maybe internal injuries." James knelt beside the dragon, ignoring the gasps from delegates who'd never seen a human voluntarily approach an injured draconian. Even wounded, Draventhos could incinerate him with a reflexive breath. "Hey there, big guy," James said softly. "Name's James. I'm going to help you, but I need you to trust me. Can you do that?" Draventhos's golden eyes flickered. "Human, you will burn." "Been burned before. Didn't take." James pulled off his jacket, revealing arms covered in old burn scars. "Elsa, I need the emergency kit from my quarters. The red case." She was already running. James examined the draconian's spine with gentle fingers, probing with the knowledge earned from battlefield triage. "Okay, Ambassador, here's the situation. Your spine's compressed but not severed. That's good. Your wings need stabilization. Also good. I can work with that. But we need to get you to medical, and that means I'm going to have to move you." "Impossible," Draventhos wheezed. "I weigh 3,000 of your pounds." 3,200 by my estimate, James corrected. He stood, rolling his shoulders. "I've carried heavier." The council erupted in protests. The Vesperan delegate's translator couldn't keep up with her objections. The Zentari physician tentacled forward. "This is madness! Human bone density cannot possibly—" James ignored them all. Elsa returned, breathless, carrying a case that looked like it had survived a war, because it had. James opened it, revealing equipment that made the alien delegates murmur in confusion. Primitive. Mechanical. No anti-gravity assists. No neural interfaces, just straps, braces, and human ingenuity. "This is a fireman's carry rig," James explained as he worked, his hands sure and steady. "Modified for high-gravity extraction. Used it on Titan when the colony's fusion core went critical." He secured straps around Draventhos's torso, creating a harness. "The trick isn't fighting the weight, it's using physics." He positioned himself beneath the Draconian, adjusting the harness across his shoulders. The rig distributed the load across his entire frame, turning his body into a living support structure. "James," Elsa whispered, her hand on his arm. "Your back will hold." His eyes met hers. "It has to." He took a breath, then another. Then, with a roar that silenced the entire chamber, James Morrison stood up. 3,200 pounds of dragon rose with him. The council chamber erupted in chaos. Delegates scrambled backward. Warning klaxons blared, but James was already moving, one step at a time, his prosthetic legs synchronizing perfectly with his biological one. Each step was measured, controlled, years of training and combat experience channeled into pure determination. "Clear the way," Elsa commanded, her voice leaving no room for argument. The crowd parted like a sea. Draventhos, barely conscious, murmured in his native tongue. The translator rendered it. Why would you? Humans are so fragile." James grunted, sweat streaming down his face. "Fragile doesn't mean weak, Ambassador. We break. We heal. We adapt. We endure. Another step. That's what we do." 17 floors became a pilgrimage. Other humans, station techs, merchants, scientists, appeared as if summoned. They formed a corridor, offering water, encouragement, their presence a reminder that James didn't carry this burden alone. The medical bay doors opened. Zentari physicians, their earlier objections forgotten, rushed forward with specialized equipment cobbled together from 6 different species technologies. James lowered Draventhos onto the treatment platform with infinite care. Only then did he allow himself to collapse against the wall, his legs shaking. "Impossible," the Zentari physician whispered, scanners dancing over Draventhos's form. "The human moved him without causing additional spinal damage." "Impossible." Elsa knelt beside James, offering water. "You okay?" He managed a tired grin. "Remind me to file a complaint about the lack of elevators." 2 weeks later, Ambassador Draventhos stood before the Galactic Council on his own 4 legs. His wings, expertly reconstructed, spread in a gesture of respect. "The Council has debated for centuries," he said, his voice resonant and strong, "whether humanity deserves a seat among the great powers. We question their technology, their military, their wisdom." His golden eyes found James in the crowd. "We were asking the wrong questions. Humanity doesn't need to match our strength, our flight, our ancient glory. They have something better." He bowed, a gesture no Draconian had offered another species in recorded history. "They have each other, and they will carry the universe forward, one impossible step at a time." James caught Elsa's eye and winked. She smiled back. "Just another day representing Earth."